exchange programs, one thing I know about exchange programs is that it gives you another perspective to learning. For instance, as a student in Algeria, I have an exchange program where I will go to Algeria or where I will go to South Africa or any other country for exchange. I will learn something about them and I will see their own approach towards learning. So, but everything boils down to the fact that the budget for education in Africa is too poor. But I'm sure that if education is given the due consideration it deserves, then the exchange program will become better. There will be more research institutes in Africa. Africa will develop faster. The Pan-African Institute for Water and Energy Sciences. Yeah, it's under the flagship of the African Union. Like the Pan-African University as a body, it has different countries hosting their institutes. There is one in Algeria for North Africa, the one for West Africa, you have it in Nigeria, in University of Ibadan. Then the one of Central Africa, you have it in Cameroon. You have the one of East Africa in Kenya, and the one of southern part of Africa it has not started yet, but it is to be hosted by South Africa. Now, these different institutes, they have the fields they major in. So where I'm studying, the Pan-African University Institute of Water and Energy Sciences, it focuses on water and energy. And if you look closely, you find out that this duo of water and energy, they are some of the biggest issues Africa is facing currently. Talk of the millions of Africans who have no access to electricity. Talk of the millions who have no access to safe drinking water. And then talk of the people who are below the absolute poverty line. You find out that it is a very relevant institute for Africa development, and I'm really proud to be a student of PAWETH. Well, I will summarize that. Nigerian economy, I would not call Nigeria a low-income country. I would rather say Nigeria is a middle-income country. Yeah, currently the 27th largest economy in the world in terms of nominal GDP, and then the 22nd in terms of purchasing power parity. That is when you try to compare the prices of goods in Nigeria in contrast to the prices in other currencies. And as an economy, we have different sectors. I know the petroleum sector is one of the major sectors because that is where the revenue comes from in bulk. Yes, Nigerian economy is not so wonderful because there are so many sectors that are lagging behind. The fact that Nigeria's production is basically primary, so what we still produce is more of raw materials. We have not graduated to the point where we produce most of the things we need, like secondary. What I mean is that we may be able to produce the crude oil, but other things that we can produce from crude oil, we may have to wait until it is refined and brought back to our country. We may produce cotton, but we are not able to produce the clothes, so we end up importing clothes and all that. Nigerian economy is also amazing because there is a lot of human capital, and by human capital I mean the labor force available, ranging from the number of youths that are willing, able and ready to work. I'm talking of the population between 18 years and let's say 55 years. It's like it has the highest percentage in Nigeria, which means if Nigeria can tap into this labor force, productivity will improve, GDP will improve. So Nigerian economy is not the best at the moment, but it's not doing so bad, if I may say. Religion. The most controversial concept, religion. Well, for me, I have my views. Every other person has his views. But I would say that religion on its own is not bad. But it becomes a problem when people allow religion to becloud their sense of reasoning. Religion is good. Like I said earlier, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. But then, even our spiritual book, which is the Bible, there is nowhere it is written that you should not rationalize your actions because you are a Christian. So as much as it is good to practice whatever religion you believe in, as much as possible, you should use the common sense that whichever supreme being that you believe in has given you, you should use it to reason things out. And religion does not remove humanity. And religion is not based on what people tell you. I believe that each and every religion have their guiding tenets and principles which you should follow. Even if the person that is talking to you, maybe in the form of a pastor, imam, priest, or whatever, if what he's telling you is not in line with what the guiding spiritual book or whatever book that guides your actions there, if it is not in line, you may as well want to follow the guiding principle of the religion. Because maybe this fanaticism, should I say, it's causing a lot of problem where people believe what their religious heads tell them, even when they are in sharp contrast with what should be. No religion is bad on its own, but I think it's the people practicing it and the way they practice it that makes some religions seem bad. I will make my education complete by diversifying. What do I mean by that? I think I mentioned it earlier. I will learn a lot of things even while studying. You notice, like in Nigeria, if you are a fresh graduate, you are looking for a job, some of those establishments, they ask for years of experience. And some of them may go as high as 5 years of experience. Now, as a young graduate who just graduated this year, on a normal day, how do you expect me to have 5 years of experience when the course I studied is not even up to 5 years? But some of them ask, and they may not be so wrong in asking you for that. Because they expected you to have had some experiences even while you were studying in the university. As a matter of fact, they expected you to have started learning a lot of things about the outside world, even from first year. I always say this, you can take up a job, you can volunteer, you can take up a job that you are not being paid. You are gathering a lot of experience. Volunteer, forget about the payment, no problem. Beg your uncle to attach yourself for an internship in his company. He'll tell you, I will not pay you. Fine, don't pay me. You know that you are not staying there for long, but you know what you are looking for. You want to learn something. Go for community service. Plant trees in your neighborhood. Clean up the water bodies surrounding you. Do some of these things. Take up leadership positions. When you finish, you may not have had a formal 5 years, but informally, you have had more than 5 years experience. And trust me, they will employ you. So now our era is no longer the era of what your certificate shows, but what you can do. Thank you. After powers, what next? I hope to further my studies. Maybe I want to learn more about energy development in Africa. I want to take up energy projects in Africa in terms of rural electrification especially, because this lack of access to electricity is more in the rural areas. And of course, there are so many other things that will come in line. but in due time, we would know.